All right, guys, welcome to another live stream. Welcome to another live stream. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. All right, so 2025, I think it's going to be a parabolic year for cryptocurrency. Obviously, this is no secret. We've been talking about it for weeks on the channel. And obviously, you could see on social media that this is the case too. Everybody is pointing towards it. Currently, we're seeing a downshift in the market, and people, sometimes they sell their positions or they get a little bit worried. But I think that is going to go away going into 2025. I don't think we're going to get much pullbacks. And essentially, our pullbacks that we get in the crypto market going into 2025, they're going to be because we have had significant upticks, right? 40-50% upticks in certain assets. Obviously, the hottest narratives are going to do really good, and I think if you don't position yourself, in the next 2 to 3 days, you're going to miss out on a huge run. Now, this is not to say you go out and buy any coin. If you haven't done your research at this point, it's probably best to just stick to something like BTC or Ethereum. And again, you would have to do your research to see which one fits you. But I think, if you don't take advantage of this crypto bull run going into 2025, I think you're going to miss out on a lot of wealth creation. You got to really think about it, right? Like, it takes a long time to double your portfolio. Whatever your portfolio is at, it takes a long time to double it, right? If you look at the traditional methods of actually doubling your money, if we look at the traditional methods of doubling our money, most people use a 401k. Most people use an ETF. They have it in their savings account, which I don't think most people think their savings account is going to double their money for them, but that's a vehicle that they use to increase their money, right? In order to increase your money, in a savings account, you need to leave it for a long, long time, right? It's going to take like 20, 30 years. Now, again, I don't think most people intend to double their money in a savings account, but that's what they do with their money, right? So I think, at least minimum, you should be looking at BTC and Ethereum, right? If you're not well versed in other coins, if you don't know about the AI coins, if you don't, you don't do meme coins, you don't do DeFi, you don't do DeSci, whatever, right? There's a lot of narratives that are going to be good in 2025, but if at this point you don't have any position, I think you should just be looking at BTC and Ethereum at minimum, right? Because those are at least it's going to get you, I think, in my opinion, a solid double from where you're at. So if you're a person that has 10,000 or 5,000 in the bank, I think this is a good chance for you to double your money. You really got to think about it. How long does it take the average person to double 5,000? Or actually, how long does it take a person to get to 5,000 or $10,000 in their bank account? It takes about, the average person doesn't even have $1,000 in their bank account. So if you have an opportunity in front of you to double your money, you need to really look into that. And I honestly think BTC and Ethereum are probably the most solid, and I'm not going to say for sure because, again, in investing it's not for sure. But, man, this is very close to 100% certainty, right? Maybe like 98, 99%. I mean, you have institutional investors in the space. If you would have said BlackRock was going to be buying, 80 to $100 billion worth of BTC every week 3 years ago, that you would have, people would have thought you were crazy, right? But now this is a normal thing. Again, also you're seeing people that, kind of despise BTC in the beginning that are like advocates for BTC. I mean, look at Grant Cardone, right? He was like, don't put your money in BTC. I can't put my money in something that's not tangible. And now he's, he owns over 100 BTC, right? And he probably has a lot more. You got to think about it too. Like, a lot of these people that were against BTC um, they were probably accumulating on the low, right? And that's why I always tell you guys to be careful of who you listen to on social media, because they could say, "Oh, well, I'm not for this, that," but you honestly don't know what they're doing in the background. While they're telling you not to buy something, they're quietly buying it in the background, building their wealth, right? So, and that's kind of the thing I have for some of these people. Like I dislike it because they tell you to do one thing, but then they're doing something else. So that's why you really got to pay attention to the people that you're listening to, especially when it comes to not financial advice, but you look for like that financial guidance. Because let's be honest, right? This is nothing that people say on YouTube is financial advice, but a lot of people copy what other people do, right? It's not financial advice, but people go ahead and copy what other people do because they believe. So it's your job to vet those people that you get information from. This is why I always tell people to pay for information, because typically those people that you pay information for have your best interest at heart, right? Typically, not all the time, right? So let me share my screen so we can look at some stuff here. Okay, so what I was looking up on Venice AI earlier, I was looking up the total market cap of gold. Right now, gold has a market cap of around 7.5 trillion to 8 trillion. It says this is calculated by multiplying the total amount of gold mined throughout history, which is approximately 193,000 tons by the current market price of gold. Right. So, and I think gold right now is like at 2,700 or 2,600 per ounce. Right. And what's funny? So my mom used to live she used to live in Kentucky, and next to the military base, and a lot of the U.S. gold is protected at the Fort Knox military base, right? It's like this whole fortress, and they have like 24/7 security. It's almost impossible to even get 50 feet close to the thing because it holds billions of dollars of the U.S. gold. And that just shows you how behind gold is as far as utility, right? You can't really send gold to, different places around the world. It's going to take a long time, right? First of all, you have the liability of somebody stealing it. This is why you have things like the Fort Knox, location to guard it. Actually, let's see how much Fort Knox. How much gold does Fort Knox have? According to the most timely relevant research, Fort Knox has approximately 147.3 million ounces of gold. This information is consistent across multiple sources. The value of the gold is estimated to be around $273 billion. And if you really look at the security around Fort Knox. I mean, when I drove by it, like it was just like you couldn't even you could see the building and you could see the guards. They have guards like walking around the building like 20, 30 yards away from the building, like 24/7. Then they have snipers at the top. They really protect the gold. There's no way you could get anywhere close. So again, you have that liability of gold because you can't just send it, right? You can't send it to people. So that's what Bitcoin has, up against gold, and the fact that it's scarce, right? You could essentially get more gold. So, I say all that to say gold is at 7.5 trillion, 7.5 trillion to 8 trillion, the market cap, right? Now, BTC, if we go to BTC, it's sitting at 1.87. So it's already a third of the way there when it comes to BTC versus gold, right? And a lot of people are saying BTC this cycle is going to get to 4 trillion, right? And they're saying the overall market cap of the global crypto market is going to be 10 trillion this cycle. And right now it's at 3.3. So we have a total of 6.7 trillion. If BTC is going to take half of that, right? It's at 1.8. That means it's going to be somewhere close to 200,000 this cycle, maybe a little bit more. I'm predicting 150 to 200,000, but typically if something hits like 100,000 or 200,000, it always ends up going a little bit more. It never really just hits that spot. So, say all that to say, there's a lot more room to grow, right? 2025 is going to be the year of crypto. This is always the case. After the year of the halving, crypto always just goes up crazy. And you do not want to miss out on that opportunity, right? It's going to be such an easy opportunity to double or triple your money at the least. If you don't know about the hottest altcoins, if you don't know what the hottest sector is, you could stick to BTC and Ethereum, right? Again, and also this cycle, yes, we are going to go parabolic, and a lot of people are calling for the best bull run ever, such that it may last the whole year of 2025 going into 2026. I'm not buying into that because since this is the first year that we actually have institutional investors in the space, I don't think that, they're just going to change the whole cycle up, right? I think they want more cycles like this to manipulate the market and gain money. Now, can BTC hold up a little bit better now that there's more institutional investors in the space? I think so. But we just saw a week ago or 2 weeks ago that BlackRock actually sold like 75 billion worth of BTC because, quote unquote, their clients sold their shares of ETFs. So I'm not buying that Wall Street is just going to hold on forever. I think there's going to be a lot of people selling, especially once we get to that 150 to 200,000 mark. But yeah, so right now, if we look at the prices, BTC's at 94. Just a couple live streams ago, it was at 98. I thought it would break 100K. But once it breaks 100K again, I think we're going on the way all the way up. Now, again, I really do think this is imminent, meaning, the next couple days, next week, next month, that type of time frame, right? I don't think there's going to be much time, right? I think this was kind of like one of the last shakeouts for the market, and I think that you really need to have your positions today, right? I think every day you waste, you're risking that you just missed the boat, because if you haven't been a part of these cycles before, if you haven't, you don't understand how quick these things can move. And if you have been on a part of these cycles before, you understand how quick they can move, right? So, and hopefully, if you have been a part of these cycles, you do have your positions ready. So you need to make sure your positions are ready today, right? So if you want to do any more buying, if you go through this chart and you say, wow, this is trading for this discount, and to be honest, all these altcoins are trading at a discount, in my opinion. I don't think we've yet to seen a true altcoin season. You'll know once we're in an altcoin season. It doesn't even have to be announced. We don't even need to make videos. YouTubers don't even need to make videos. People are going to understand that we're in an altcoin season because things are just going to go crazy. And once things go crazy, right? Once things go parabolic, that's when you lose everybody. Everybody's going to get lost. Everybody's going to be like, oh, everybody's going to become an expert. So no matter how much you tell people, don't get greedy, make sure you take profit, so on and so forth, people are not going to listen. It's just going to be too much greed. It's almost like if somebody put 100 grand outside of your car and they tell you not to touch it, it's just, you're going to take it, and you're not going to think about it twice, right? So you got to keep a leveled mind during this bull market, because prices are going to go crazy. Now, if you're a person that is in the market, like if you're not just getting in the market and you're new and you do have substantial altcoin positions, draw out your targets, right? For instance, let's pull up Chainlink. Right? If you're a person in Chainlink, you see Chainlink at a $13 billion market cap. How high do you think it could go? Right? Let me move my thing. How high you think it could go? In my opinion, again, and I don't even own Chainlink, but I'm giving an example, right? I think Chainlink could definitely hit its all-time highs and go past that, But if I'm looking at the trading view, let's see, 12 months. Oops. Right, if I'm looking at the trading view, and this is not even good either. Right here. Here's the here's the all-time high. Right here. Right? So from 21 to 52, that's already 100% gain. Now, I wouldn't say like, okay, get all out, because at that point, if Chainlink's already hitting its all-time highs, I, you know, most likely it's going to go higher, right? And obviously the time frame depends, plays a factor into this. If it's hitting its all-time highs towards the end of the year, then maybe, yeah, 56 will be the top. But if in January you see Chainlink hitting its all-time highs, most likely it still has a lot more room to go. A lot of people are actually predicting Chainlink to go to $100, right? But, I say all that to say, you should be thinking, take some profit off the table, right? Let's say, 100% into Chainlink or something like that, or your position, let's just say your position's at 100% when you hit the all-time high. Maybe you take 20 to 30% off, and then you ride the rest up, right? Or maybe at $75, you take out another, 20, 30%, right? But you got to start thinking about it like that. Don't try to ride these things all the way up, because the higher you ride all these altcoins up, the harder it's going to be to take profit, as you go up in price. So make sure you are taking profit. Make sure you don't get greedy. Yeah, and I honestly, one thing I learned from previous cycles, and it's going to be hard too, because it's one of those things where it's like, oh well, if this thing keeps going, right, like if this bull market is different than the previous two cycles, in the sense that it lasts all throughout 2025 and then goes into 2026, don't feel bad if you sell and things keep going up, right? The whole goal of this is to make more than what you came in with, right? So if you're a person that came in with 10 grand and you make 100 grand, don't get mad if you could have made 160 or 170, right? Because you can't time that top. There's no way you can time the top. So you need to be rational when it comes to profit taking, and you're not a mind reader when it comes to this market. You're not going to be able to tell when the top is here. The best thing you can do is piece off your selling, because it'll help you time the top. So if you got out 20% at $50, and then you got out another 40-50% at 75, well, now you're the average price that you got out at is somewhere in the middle, right? So that way it kind of just, you don't feel too bad for missing out on the top. But yeah, so right now it looks like the market is just settling. Again, the Fear and Greed Index is still at 54. And, people are still a little bit scared, and it's sad to say a lot of people got shaken out with this last dip. If you're one of those people that sold, again, the way you make money in this crypto market in 2025, this parabolic bull run, is having conviction in your plays. You can't be selling every dip, and you can't be selling every spike. You got to learn how to hold through. And it's just one of those things where you need to just learn how to hold your position. You don't learn how to hold your position, especially through spike ups, right? Because sometimes if your position goes up to 3x, maybe, you just take out what you put in, and then you keep holding it. And it all again comes back to your goals, your goals. You really need to be looking at your goals when it comes to this crypto parabolic bull market, because one thing I see a lot of people doing is forgetting about their goals. Now, if your goals are outrageous, then maybe you need to be more realistic, right? I've seen some crypto YouTuber that says he wants to make, go from 1 million to 100 million, and that's great, but it's really not a realistic goal, right? It's just not realistic. So you need to be realistic, and you essentially what you want to do is set yourself up for the next crypto bull market. That's the whole point of this, because a lot of people's problem is that they don't have capital for the next bull market, and it's because one, they either round tripping their crypto portfolio into the next market because they didn't take profit, and then two, they either end up spending their money on nonsense, and then once the next bull market comes around, they don't have as much money to put in these good assets that are at a substantial discount, right? A lot of these projects, I mean, if we look at Render, right, like Render already went up like 20x from the bottom, right? So if you were that early in Render, I mean, you're up a lot. But again, the problem during this time, people don't have money to put into the market. People don't have any money to put into the market, and that's their problem. So what you want to do is you want to have money going into the next bull market, and the way you do that is you take profit this bull market, right? Even if you don't hit your goals, it's going to be a lot easier to hit that goal plus a lot more in the next bull market if you end up just taking profit. So the goal this bull market is to make sure you take profit and you don't just round trip your gains all the way into the end, right? Because then you're going to be really sad if that happens, right? All right, I think that's pretty much it. The crypto bull cycle, again, I really think it's imminent. I think you need to be prepared as far as 2025 goes. I think the first month of the year is typically very bullish for crypto. And the fact that we didn't really see that Santa Claus rally in December, I think it's just setting up for a really parabolic January, right? So you need to make sure that when January comes around, you already have your positions on, right? And make sure, again, just understand the goal of this parabolic bull run. The goal is leaving with profit and having that profit and holding onto that profit until the next bull cycle, right? Which the next bull cycle, let's ask Venice AI, when is the next BTC happening? What's going on? When is the next? Is this thing slow or what? It's thinking. When is the next BTC happening? Usage of, what is this? Let me ask, when is the next? All right, occur here. Cool. Note that the expected date. When is the next halving after May 2024? Okay, so the next halving is in 2028, right? So March 26, 2028. So last one was in 2024 April, and it's always like a month earlier. So the next one is in March. So the next parabolic run will be in 2029, right? Which is 4 years from now. So your goal this bull cycle, 2025, is to come out in profit and get ready for 2029, right? But it's going to be hard because a lot of people, what they're going to do with their profit from this bull market, again, they're either going to round trip it, which they're going to hold on, and then they're not going to have money, because they're going to lose all that value because they didn't take profit. And then, or two, they're just going to waste it on nonsense, right? So don't forget that these things happen every 4 years. And what separates people that make a lot of money in the crypto bull cycle and what separate from people that don't make a lot of money is people that have capital to put in the market, and then also people that can identify what's the hottest narrative and how they're you know how they position those things, and how they take profit, right? They're intelligent on how they take profit. They don't try to time the top. They take profit as prices go up, and they don't get left holding the bag, right? Essentially. All right, guys, if you're watching this, please hit the like button, subscribe. But yeah, 2025 is going to be very parabolic for crypto. We only have 3 days left, so I think the beginning of January is going to be very, very parabolic. So if you don't have your positions now, I think it's going to be too late going into 2025. So make sure you do some research quick and you get ready. But that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.